Right now, missiles are flying across West Asia. Israel and the US strike Iran. Tehran fires back, and the cycle repeats. But a much larger question is dominating the conversation in Washington. Is the Pentagon actually preparing for a full-scale ground invasion of Iran? To answer that, we have to look at the military footprint already on the board. The US Pentagon currently has about 50,000 troops stationed across West Asia. That baseline alone makes this the largest American military deployment in the region since the Iraq War. Now, defense officials are debating a plan to send approximately 10,000 additional troops into the theater. The first wave of these reinforcements would consist of 2,000 to 3,000 paratroopers pulled from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division. They are pulling from the Immediate Response Force, a highly trained unit capable of mobilizing and deploying within 18 hours. Add to that 2 fully equipped Marine Expeditionary Units. That brings another 6,000 to 8,000 personnel who are already moving through the waters toward the Persian Gulf. With 60,000 heavily armed American troops converging on the region, the stage certainly looks set for war. Before we assume an invasion is imminent, we need to examine what exactly these forces are positioned to do. This 3D map shows the Persian Gulf, focusing specifically on the geographic horseshoe bend known as the Strait of Hormuz. Military analysts are watching 3 specific targets in this vicinity. Target number 1 is Keshm Island, the largest island in the Gulf. Keshm is where Iran stores a vast armory of anti-ship missiles, underwater mines, and attack drones, deeply hidden inside a network of underground tunnels. Seizing this island effectively neutralizes Iran's ability to strangle shipping traffic through the strait. Target number 2 is Karg Island. Capturing this infrastructure would deliver a devastating economic blow to Tehran. The terminals on Karg handle roughly 90% of Iran's entire crude oil export market. Controlling it gives Washington massive financial leverage. Taking it, however, carries immense risk. The Iranian military has spent years heavily laying the island's shorelines with anti-personnel and anti-armor mines. The third and most ambitious target is capturing Iran's stockpile of over 400 kilograms of processed nuclear material. This is currently the most unrealistic option on the board. US forces would first have to pinpoint the exact locations of these highly dispersed assets, and the material would need to be concentrated in a single place to make a physical raid viable. Targeting islands and seizing shipping lanes points toward a strategy of surgical strikes against economic and military choke points. To find out if these objectives add up to a full ground invasion, we have to do the math. We can test the viability of a US invasion by looking at the hard logistical realities of Middle Eastern warfare. Let's establish a historical baseline by looking back at the 2003 US invasion of neighboring Iraq. To successfully invade and occupy Iraq, the Pentagon committed approximately 160,000 American troops. Drop Iran's borders over Iraq. Geography shows Iran is exactly 4 times the size. So it took 160,000 troops to invade Iraq. The US currently has only 60,000 troops stationed across the region. A deployment of 60,000 personnel is mathematically incapable of conquering and holding a nation of Iran's geographic magnitude. Whatever this military buildup is, it is not a full-scale invasion force. If Washington isn't planning to march on Tehran, then this deployment serves a different purpose. It operates as a loaded gun placed visibly on the table, a massive show of force designed to coerce Iran into negotiating a deal and keeping the Strait of Hormuz open. Iran recognizes this leverage play, and instead of backing down, they are calling the bluff. Iranian state media reports that the threat of a US incursion has triggered a massive surge in volunteers. Tehran claims it is actively mobilizing up to 1 million troops to the ground. These recruits are flowing into the elite ranks of the Revolutionary Guards and heavily padding the Basij, Iran's deep-rooted civilian paramilitary force. That leaves the region trapped in an incredibly fragile equilibrium. On one side, American naval and airborne units push closer to the Gulf. On the other, a deeply entrenched Iranian populace arms itself for a fight. The logistical math proves that neither side is equipped to win a full-scale ground invasion today. But when 2 heavily armed forces point loaded weapons at each other in a standoff this tense, a single miscalculation won't stay limited. It will ignite a catastrophic regional war.